The interception and the pitch, just take us through that play. What was going through your mind in that situation, and what allowed you the belief that you could pitch it in that spot?
Pitching the ball is something that the DB's been talking about for a while now, probably since fall camp, but we just never had an opportunity to do it. And when I got that opportunity, I seen Dre behind me and just, went with it. I knew it was me and the receiver out there on the island, and I turned around, Dre was there, and luckily he caught the ball.
Rashad, take me through that run of yours where you jumped over the guy. Just what went through that run, and what went through it?
Honestly, the run, it was just a great design. It was a new play we put in this week, just based off of what the defense run. And I can't explain jumping over a guy. Like, it's just instinct. It's just having fun, honestly.
Jack, you were on an island against some physical Stanford wideouts, and it seemed like you were playing the fade route better than most cornerbacks have played this season. What do you think went into that? What's your mentality in those reps?
I feel like the fade ball is of course, size got something to do with it, but it's all about will and the want to. You can't allow somebody to go over your head and dunk on you. What we would say in our locker room, that's not cool. So all week we was focusing on playing outside leverage and not letting them catch the fade.
Jack, early in the first half, really, you guys let up a few of those longer third down conversions. Yes. What were you seeing there, and how did you guys improve in that respect as the game went along?
Just cat coverage. You guys see it. Cover your cat. AP put us on the island and to trust us, and we got to do our job.
Jaden, you guys obviously offense got off to a fast start, and I've been talking about that since the beginning of the season. But how did that feel? What did you see early on from Stanford that you guys knew you could take advantage of?
It felt good. Come out with a fast start. That's something that the coaches preach. That's what Coach Hill and his staff preach. And just go out there and we start off fast, put ourselves in a good position. Defense helped us out getting stops, holding them. We capitalized on that. But it just felt good. We capitalized on what we seen against Stanford. Play action passing, just getting on the edge and outrunning them, using our speed, and it worked out to our advantage.
This is for Jaden. Obviously, you guys scored on the first 3 possessions, and then the offense didn't score another touchdown. You won, but is it a little frustrating to leave some points out there?
Well, most definitely. You want to be perfect, but that just comes with football. It comes with the game. You're gonna battle through some adversity. Like you guys said, we came out and scored our first 3 possessions, and we wanted to keep scoring. But that's something that we preach, is just finishing drives. Defense did a hell of a job of holding them, just putting us in a better position to go out there and score. And I give all props to them. I give props to just the team, just the will, the want to finish.
Jack, AP was mixing up the secondary a lot in the first half. Was that just about trying to find the right matchups on the boundary?
The receivers over there, 6'5", 6'6", they got basketball players. So you gotta match up.
Jaden, you barely got hit today behind the line of scrimmage. Talk about your offensive line. I feel like they don't get talked about enough. How do you think they played, and just how much do those guys mean to this team?
Yeah, they played well. We got to go back and watch the film, obviously, to really see how they played. Through these past couple of weeks, they've been doing a great job of pass pro. Me not being able to get touched, that's something the quarterback wants. Those 5 guys are coming along together, and they're gelling, and you can see they're all on the same page. We're all on the same page in that backfield. The linemen, me, the running backs. So we all know how to pick up the blitzes that they bring. So, I give all kudos to them.
Tyler, how would you evaluate your guys' overall performance dictating at the line of scrimmage in this one?
It was very, very good. We practiced all week. They had a lot of big guys on the edge, and we had to just prepare for specific people. So the whole week we just prepared for them and knowing their run game, their formations and stuff like that, what they like to do with them. So this really just comes down to preparation, and then we all stuck to the plan, and we came out with doing what we were doing.
Rashad, I know that you guys have really high standards as a running back room, but how would you evaluate your guys' performance today, and how important was that to the win?
I don't know. I evaluated it. We got the win, so for us, that's in the running back room, that's kind of all that matters. I evaluated it good. We kind of do our job, but lately, and we rotate, so everybody comes in and they play their part, things like that. And I don't know. Lately, we've been kind of feeling like we ain't really even had that many possessions or something. We feel like the other team be trying to hold the ball away from us and, try to keep our defense on the field a long time. But our defense do a great job. And running backs, we just, stay the course.
Question for Jack. When Chase goes out like that, how do you guys kind of regroup emotionally and kind of get your minds in the right place?
Next man up.
Jack, for you guys too, I know coaches, I mean, obviously last week, what they did against Oregon, I mean, not scoring the second half literally until it goes to zeros. How big was it, the message at halftime and into the second half, just to finish the game and keep the foot on the pedal, especially defensively?
We have to finish the game, because like you said last week, Oregon was down at halftime, correct? And they came back in the second half and beat Oregon. Yeah, so we said that in our locker room at halftime that last week they just came back in the second half, so we can't allow that to happen. We got to keep our foot down and keep going hard and not give up anything.
Last question from me, Jack. Jordan Clark has really stepped it up since the BYU game. What have you seen from him over the last 3 games in his performance?
Jordan Clark, JC, he's a tremendous player. He's a young, tremendous player. I feel like he's got a bright future ahead of him. He just got to keep knocking down those stepping stones and he'll be all right.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
I thought we did some good things in the game as far as running the football. That was kind of our emphasis. Try to run the ball a little bit more and make some first downs, because when you play Stanford, they're a very methodical football team. They take a lot of time off the clock. They possess the ball for long periods of time. The defense generally doesn't give up a lot of big plays in the passing game. So going into this, we didn't want to turn the ball over. We didn't want to get into foul trouble. And it showed up at the end. But for the most part, I thought we played a pretty good football game in the sense that we got on the board, and then they got on the board. And then from there, I thought the second half was telling. Our defense only allowed 3 points. And so when you can do that, your chances of winning go way up. We scored. I thought there was a couple of things we got to clean up. I'll get that straight. Promise you that, but it was a good win for us.
Coach, you've talked a little bit about how trick plays on offense kind of get your attention, but trick plays on defense when Jack Jones is pitching the ball. What are you thinking in that moment?
That's just instinctive. When a guy is able to, first of all, intercept the ball the way he did with his hands, and before he goes down, Pierce, runs by and he sees it, and Jack flips it to him. It's just, that's kind of stuff you just do on instinct. And I'm glad it worked, because if we would have fumbled it, you'd have seen a mad head coach, right? And it's all pretty when it happens and it works. And it's just football. Guys are having fun, and it was a great play. It really was a great play on both of us.
And Coach, how big was it? And you've talked about obviously finishing games and limiting penalties, but knowing what happened with them against Oregon last week, was that kind of reminded them that at halftime and to keep the pedal down in the second half?
Well, almost showed up in the fourth quarter, right? We got 2 personals. All of a sudden, we were doing good with fouls. All of a sudden, we get some personal fouls. And then and it's like stopping the clock, and I'm going, here we go, right? Now the score was a little bit different, but here again, you can't get into games like that and give people 30 yards on penalties. That's not smart. So you got to clean it up.
Coach, how would you evaluate the overall performance of the secondary in this one?
I thought they played pretty well, to be quite honest. We gave up the 1 touchdown pass on a fade. We mistimed the jump. These are big receivers, and we knew it going in. They're scary, and they're gifted players. They can catch the ball, a lot of jump balls. You see it every week, and for the most part, we did a pretty good job of really not allowing that to happen. They're going to hit some, it. I thought our ability to play man-to-man coverage helped us. We started out in the first half, playing a little bit more zone, and then in the second half, We went to cat coverage, discover your cat. Let's go rush the quarterback, see what happens.
Coach, you guys scored first three possessions, 3 touchdowns. Then the offense didn't score again. Is it a little frustrating to leave points on the table there?
It really is, and we had some opportunities, and we just didn't take advantage of it. That's the hard part, because you feel like you're rolling a little bit, like you mentioned, 3 scores, then all of a sudden, nothing, right? And we've got to clean that up. But for the most part, you look at the offense, it ran the ball for over 200 yards, and generally when we were 200 plus, we won a lot of games. Our record's pretty good, so it was fun to watch all the runners run. We turned the ball over, but we took it away 3 times. So that's the kind of football you want to play. You want to take it away. You don't want to turn it over. Defense went out there and stopped it. So you got to give credit to the defense.
Herm, you're 6 games in now. Just where do you think you guys are as a program at the midpoint? At the midpoint.
Why do we always ask about the program? It's you guys talk about that. I don't know. Program, we're 5-1. We got a lot of football. And every time you play a Pac-12 team, it's hard. It's just hard. It's hard football. Hard to win a game in the Pac-12. It just is. It doesn't matter what side you're on, the south or the north. It's just competitive football. And, we're a 5-1 football team. You guys can decide what we are if you want. I'm not going to try to decide that. That's just a football. We're just trying to win another game. Next week, we have another game we have to try to win. And if we win that one, hopefully you guys will ask me the question again. I'll give you the same answer. You guys can decide that. That's not my decision. I don't do stuff. Get yourself in a bad way when you start saying that my program this. It's not a winning game. Just win, everybody's happy. You don't win, then you got other things to do with.
Coach, Jack was great in coverage tonight, especially on those fade routes, matching up the Stanford big wide receivers against him. You were a DB in your playing career. How do you effectively guard that route?
Well, the way you did it, and we practiced on it all week. You got to put face mask to face mask, because in the era of today's football, the back shoulder fade comes into play, and if you turn the opposite away from the receiver, you can't get back to the ball. And so you have to have enough ability to turn your head to the receiver and also play the ball. And we worked on that all week. I mean, that was put my coaching hat on. Actually, we worked. I took the corners and said, "This is what we're doing this week. We're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do it." And they listened, and it was funny because Merton Hanks was at the game. And Merton complimented how good the defensive backs played. I got to ask Lynch, because he was in the box with his wife. I got John Leah, his son plays for Stanford, and they were at the game. So I got to ask John, can I get out here? How did they play? How did they play? He'll give me hopefully thumbs up.
Coach, Jaden had another really good game. No turnovers once again. How would you just evaluate his overall performance today?
He's starting to get comfortable with the receivers, and you got to give the receivers a lot of credit. They're starting to find their way. We're missing still. Johnny is out still, and he'll come back eventually. But I thought for the most part, receivers have done a nice job. Ricky was a little bit mad at the one he kind of let get away over there. But I think every week you're starting to see him some explosive plays. Badger all of a sudden, I don't know what to say. You looked at me, I said, I don't know what to tell you. Tell him you're a runner.
Coach, how do you feel like you guys performed in the battle at the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively?
They're a 2-gap defense. They do a nice job up front of really holding their gaps and shedding off blocks. So it took a little bit to figure that out, but I thought we ran the ball well. I thought our defensive line, when you hold people to under 30 yards rushing. Now, they didn't try to rush a lot. They were going to throw it, but that's a good sign. And we got to the quarterback, and we hit him, and we harassed him, and we took the ball away going into this game. This quarterback had no interception. So I thought we did a pretty good job on some tips. We got our hands into some alleys with the ball. They throw a lot of their balls inside the numbers, and we got our hands up and we were able to hit some balls and got some interceptions.
Can you update us on Chase Lucas and DJ Davidson, what their situations were?
DJ came back in the game. Chase is a little sore. I'll probably know more about that tomorrow. Hopefully all of it, but DJ actually came back.
And then, Coach, to piggyback on the receivers, I know kind of been asking you like the number one, and I know Ricky's kind of stepped up, but do you feel that almost in an offensive game plan, it's an advantage to have multiple options and maybe not have that number one?
Yeah, I think when the restaurants where there's not one special item, those are the ones I like going to. Everything's good, right? Everything's good. It's not just one thing. So that's what you hope with the receivers. And I think they don't get enough credit for this. They are good blockers. Those receivers block their tails off. I mean, there's a reason that this running game shows up. It's the offensive line first, I get it, and Case Hatch, and the tight ends. But don't lose sight of the wide receivers. They do a lot of things down the field blocking, and that helps you too. Unselfish guys. All right.